Hello, everybody. Welcome to Liam McKay Productions. Today, I will be playing as Alexander Hamilton. I will be going against Milhowski. He's a pretty good player. This is going to be a tough matchup, but we're going to try and win. So, Alexander Hamilton, he's a pretty decent candidate. Not as good as JFK for VP, but he's got solid African American, 20%, 25% manufacturing, high export, 35. 15% swing states, 30% town and gown, 35% youth vote, 30% gun lobby. He's got 30% and 45% in some of the Republican primary groups, but this is the general elections, so these don't matter. He does have penalties to agriculture, -15, and Old South, -10. So he's a pretty good candidate overall. Not quite as good as like JFK with a vice president, especially Obama. Obama, I think, is the best president for him. Look at it, 55% African American, 65% youth vote. JFK is already one of the best candidates in the game, but with a VP, it's a really tough matchup, so I'm just going to enter into youth vote. I'm curious to see if he goes for Old South or Town and Gown first starting, or maybe even like a Florida. So we'll see what he does. Now, with Alexander Hamilton, obviously New York is a pretty good state for him with his town and gown and African American. Despite being neutral on high tech, you probably want a New York Texas combo. JFK doesn't even go in youth vote, which is interesting because he's got a 65%, but that's okay because him going for Florida isn't necessarily bad because Alexander Hamilton has a swing state bonus, but he plays pretty good of like Texas or New York, so Florida isn't necessarily the most important one. But so I'm gonna start in Old South here to see what it is, because I imagine JFK either goes for like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, or like some sort of Old South swing state bonus. Like I don't think he goes like New York or something. But okay, so that puts us in a perfect position to go to New York. There's some people like doing some sort of thing. Like they're not in danger, I don't think. They're doing just like goofing around in the background by my house. So if you hear anything with that, that's not me. It's just some people goofing around. That's also why I paused recording, because I had to check and see if there was something wrong. I didn't actually go see them, but listen closely, and it seems like they're not doing anything like ridiculous. Okay, so I did the math wrong. Can't go for a town and tech. Not this turn. I will expand some more town and gown states. And I think Pennsylvania might not be a bad one to enter to try and like fight him for swing, because he's probably going for swing here. Which is interesting. I would have thought he'd go for New York first, if anything. Okay, so he does look like he's pressuring New York. Tough decisions. I don't remember what his tendency is with big states. I will actually defend it this turn. A lot of times I wouldn't, but I don't want him to get New York and Florida right now. So I'll do that. Okay. I really thought he'd go up in swing states or something like that. So far, though, I do like my position. What's he gonna do? Okay, so he zero spends again, which is very interesting. He's going for California, Texas, isn't he? He's going for that, I think. Okay. Which, not gonna lie, I'm not sure if California, Texas is the way to go in this situation, especially with him having the oil penalty. Like, he's okay in Latino and agriculture and export, but his manufacturing, plus the fact that he doesn't have a national group, makes me kind of question why he'd go into Cali, Texas, which is why I think he might try and do a sneaky move in New York. But otherwise, I'm just gonna be cautious here and not spend anything. I'll go up in New Hampshire too, but okay, so yeah, I don't know what. I feel like he should at least try and fight me for African American with that huge 55% African American bonus. Like, I really feel like he'd put more of an effort than just pressuring New York, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, should I go into. If he doesn't. It's looking like he's gonna be using the full timer here. So I don't know if he's gonna zero spend again, or if he's just really thinking about his next move, but next turn, I need to decide whether to go into California or Texas, and Hamilton plays much better at Texas, but I'm going to go into California probably. Now, why? You may ask, and that's a pretty valid question, is asking why. Because AFK plays really good out of California too, so I want to give him. Okay, so he is going for African American. I thought for sure he'd go for some like Cali, Texas push, but he didn't, so I was wrong there. I'll do a little bit more defense in New Hampshire. Now, High Tech is a group that I really want here. Not just largely because of California too. I really want, to be able to go up in California with no issues, and High Tech would grant me that. So, I'm doing some aggressive move in Virginia, pressure Illinois, go up in Maryland, and I'm gonna try and go into California. Now then, after I go into California, I wouldn't mind swiping Illinois eventually, but if I can get him to overspend there instead, I can just go into like New Jersey, Colorado, because if he overspends in Arizona and Illinois, that's fine, or I just take, so either way, I'm not too mad there. Now I am interested to see where he goes up in. No, there's in Virginia, isn't it? And if so, by how much? Because I feel like he has to. Yeah. There's a pretty, it's a relatively important state here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in Michigan as well, South Carolina, Tennessee. But I don't know if he goes up in Texas yet. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what he does in this moment. Okay, so it looks like I did steal Virginia, so I stole Old South, which likely means I ended up taking, like, he didn't get AA, which is huge. Him not getting African American is huge here. But, yeah, so. Okay, now New Hampshire I feel like is a place he might go after. Right, like. Just because it would be like a sneaky way for him to grab High Tech from me. Not steal it for himself. However, I'm going in Michigan instead, which should make it so that, like, even if I lose Maryland and New Hampshire, I still get High Tech. I'm going to try and go after Louisiana and Arizona, trying to get. I don't know if I'll get African American this term, but I can prevent him from getting it, which would be good. Alexander Hamilton does have an African American bonus too, so that should be good. But after this turn, I'll probably maybe go a little bit higher in some of the African American states, and then I'll go straight to California. Okay, So he got Old South. I did not get African American, but he also did not get African American, which very good for me. Very, very good for me. So how close? He's gonna probably try and get African American this turn. Now he's gonna probably attack in some of these states. Now, Louisiana, I think I'll protect. I'll protect Louisiana for sure because I think that's a prime state for him to go after with the oil and stuff. Maryland, I'm fine with probably losing, especially if I get Delaware and Illinois. Michigan's a state he might go after, actually. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of states where you can go after, so I just need to hope I'm making the right moves here. Just need to really hope here. But overall, especially this turn, I think is going to be a deciding one in the game. Seeing if either one of us gets the African American bonus, I think whoever does is set up very, very nicely. So I kind of need to get it here. Now he has a lot of swing state money, so he's going probably either in Michigan or Arizona. If I was him, I'd probably go Michigan, but he might go. A lot of players would go Arizona here and Louisiana, and probably Pip in DC. And I am going after him in Delaware, so this is going to be an interesting turn, very important. I'm also interested to see if he goes up in Texas, because he would get agriculture and manufacturing. So that wouldn't necessarily be a bad move. Okay, he didn't go in Arizona. Did he go in Michigan or something? Okay, I got African American. That's really, really good here. I needed to get African American. So what I'm going to do now is, he's got swing states. Now I feel like he's going to go up in Texas. I feel like there's a very good chance of that. But also, Illinois. Right, Illinois is a really state I need to secure, and Michigan too. Actually, I think I will be going up in Michigan as well, and Delaware even Delaware, because I think there could be some moves in Delaware, honestly. So, because he's gonna probably try and get the AA, although to at least some degree. Although if I'm him, I'm not opposed to him going up in Texas. He gets manufacturing and agriculture, and while those aren't important bonuses, he does get bonuses. And then I'd probably also expand into oil. Okay, so we'll see what he did here. Okay, so he didn't go up in... What did he try and do? Okay, he tried going up in Illinois, and he defended a lot in the Old South. Alright. Alright. I actually quite like this position. I'm gonna keep New Hampshire safe because I'm a little bit. He might try something sneaky there. I'm gonna also enter into Florida. Florida, I think, is the place where I could scare him into spending some money. I really like my position here. The good thing is, I locked all of these, so he has to steal New York if he wants African American, which is certainly possible. But he has to do a lot of saving, especially because I defended it earlier. So, yeah, I am glad that I closed off New York here, because wouldn't have been great to let him get New York and Florida. But we'll see. So, I really like my positioning, because even though I'm not getting the manufacturing here, I'm still... Town again in African American, I'm still pretty good, and I'll probably get export too. I was able to use youth vote. But yeah, Alexander Hamilton is ranked as an A-tier candidate. He's one of the weaker A-tier candidates, but he does have a national group, and he does have an African American bonus. So he's one of the better candidates in the game, but he's not a candidate you see very often, despite his popularity from being in the musical, which I haven't seen yet. If you guys have seen it, let me know if I should see it. I kind of want to see it one day. I've heard it's really, really good. Okay, now what do I do here? Do I do some like cheeky swipe in Alabama? Just because Alabama is pretty cheap, it's 9 electoral votes, and I think it'll kind of mess with him a little bit. 270 is just as a mental game as much as it is a game of spending your money. You gotta do some really unpredictable moves, and I don't think he'd predict that. And especially because it seems like he'll be spending less. All of that spending will be wasteful. It could also scare him into locking North Carolina, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, even, because he sees me going really high in some of these states. So if I can scare him into doing that, that could be a really good thing for me. Okay, he's pressuring oil, but I'm not too worried about that because I've got Louisiana safe, and if I lock these up, and I'll do one here just to, because that way if we keep clashing there, I can even let one of these go and keep Oklahoma. Now, how much? Okay, so I've got pretty good hold on export. I'll probably enter one into Washington. These are tempting, but I know he might even defend Mississippi. I'm gonna challenge him in Mississippi. See what he's gonna do. See if he's gonna respond, because I have been putting a lot of pressure. Okay. No, he can't go after me in New York either, not because he's got no bonuses there. So all this, even if he had like a little bit more, he still wouldn't, because all these bonuses. So I'm safe there, which is good. Pennsylvania, I feel, is a state where he might attack. Don't mind steal the export, but I've got like having New York, California, and then Arizona, Illinois, and Michigan is a really good position. Especially because I've got some footholds in like a little bit of states in the Old South. Especially for like Virginia, Alabama, getting those relatively cheap electoral vote states. Yeah, this is a game where I locked a lot of things down, so that's an interesting thing to note. Now, he did not spend it. No, I wonder, is he trying to... Okay, so how many... That would be 150, 220, which is 370 for these two, plus 60 Old South. So that's 490 plus 62.5, which is 125. That's like 600 and some. So he still can't do anything there. Okay. I'm gonna do some more ballot blocking. I'm gonna enter into some of his oil states and probably some of his. I'm gonna just enter into the states he's in here, and we'll see where that gets us. Because I should be. Okay, so he's zero spent again. Wow, that's a lot of zero spending, dude. Okay, Florida, I'm maxing out Florida. There's no games being played there. Now, I'm also gonna go up in New York a little bit. And I'm also gonna... I won't max out Pennsylvania. That, and then one Wisconsin scene that is. Because even if I lose Pennsylvania, I should still have high tech. Because I got messages. Yes, I'd still have high tech. So I'm not concerned about that. But yeah, we'll see what he does here. Because I wonder if he goes for the New York steal. If I'm him, I just save up and keep and push for a ballot with all this money. I'd also spend some money in some of my bonus money and make it so that I don't know how much bonus money he has. Because right now, if I wasn't so lazy, I'd be able to calculate it. Because I calculated it last turn, but 3 turns at this point, I'm just gonna like put light a fire under him and go up in Florida. Make if he doesn't defend Florida to the max, he loses Florida. And especially if he doesn't defend Wisconsin, I get swing in agriculture, so he loses a bunch of bonuses there. He still has manufacturing in Old South, but that's not a big deal. I'd lose Latino and Town and Gown if you went to New York, and I think I'd lose export as well. Would I use export actually? No, I don't think I'd lose export unless he steals Pennsylvania. I'd still have export, I think. But no, I don't think. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Okay. So I did steal Florida. So that's okay. He did take Pennsylvania though. Okay. I still like the position I'm in. Oh, like I like the position I'm in. Because even though he's got a lot of very soft, very weak leads in some of these states, like a state like Wisconsin, I can just do, and Washington, kaboom. Like got a lot. He's got a lot of very weak leads that aren't gonna hold if I have my way about it. So play a little bit of defense in there. And yeah, like I'm really liking this position I'm in. Because I'll be able to probably flip back Washington and Wisconsin, which would put me at exactly 270 votes, provided he doesn't steal anything, or he goes, like, I clash here, but that shouldn't be the case. And, like, if I get Wisconsin, that's swing states, so I'd be able to, like, George, he's not in the greatest position right now. Okay, he goes big in Arkansas. Huge. But I steal back Wisconsin. I steal back Washington. So I get the swing state bonus. I get those 22 EVs. He did nothing in either Connecticut and New Jersey, which I don't know about. Okay. Minnesota would be a good steal. Kansas as well. West Virginia is probably one when I'm going to put some money in. What's he gonna do in Oklahoma? That's the question. Because he doesn't really have a ton of leverage in a lot of these states. Montana. I'm really tempted to ignore some of these, like Ohio and Indiana. I'll go one in Indiana. Test him, see if he's doing something there. Nevada. I'll just go to the max in Nevada. I won't try to go for Iowa. Utah as well, I'm gonna try and steal. Okay, he can steal Idaho, potentially Maine, but that's it. Okay, so I like the ballot position I'm in. Thing is, I was able to lock a lot of my states. He can't do anything. Alaska flips to me, okay. He was in Connecticut. I didn't even realize he was in Connecticut, but he did. So he didn't go past me in Idaho. He blocks in Indiana. Kansas, what are we going to do in Kansas? I flip Kansas. He goes up in Kentucky, but I don't go up. I defend Maine, but he doesn't do anything there. I flip Minnesota. Alright. He defends Missouri. I flip Montana. I max out Nevada, but he doesn't do anything there, so I'm safe. I block New Jersey, which is critical. That's a 14 critical electorals, but Ohio, even if you got New Jersey, that 17 that flips to me, and Oklahoma makes it so that New Jersey wouldn't have done much for him. He defends South Carolina. I was able to flip Tennessee. I was able to flip Utah. I was barely able to flip West Virginia and Wyoming. So I'm able to get a reasonably commanding victory here. Wow, that's a pretty big ballot. So, yeah, well, that was a fun game. It was more competitive than it looked. The score makes it look less competitive than it actually was. Good game to my opponent, Milhowski. He plays a lot. He's a pretty good player. Always a tough matchup against him, but yeah, so GG again to my opponent. And thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna post maybe another video today, we'll see. But let me know who you want me to play as in 270. I'll play as pretty much anyone. I'd prefer to avoid too many modern politicians. I don't know if I'd play as Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I might, but I'd like to avoid them just out of controversy. But if you guys want me to play as them, I could be convinced to play as them, even though I'm not a fan of either of them, especially Trump. But yeah, so again, I've said this before, but thank you again for watching. I am always very grateful that people watch my videos, even if you are my friend and I kind of forced you to watch them. I still appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye now.